It is the RIOT on RadioU. Podcast time, everybody.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, you ready for new Oreos?
Yeah, we talk about one that we already tried last week, but then some of the other, kind of like, when Marvel and Disney unveiled their universe and their set of movies for the next, 5 or 6 years.
Gosh. Nikki, where were we on that joke? It's the Oreo cinematic universe.
Pretty much. Now, Oreo only will tell you for the year, but it does unveil some of the flavors you can expect this year.
Still, making cookie plans 3 or 4 months in advance.
That's what they do.
It's not Christmas, so it's kind of amazing. Let's see. Other stuff, we talk about the oldest Porsche in the world going on sale, most expensive cup of coffee in the United States, the source of the hot dog toaster.
We find out who's the owner of the hot dog toaster that's in our break room.
Yeah, spaghetti pizza. There's a lot of talk in here about lawn mowing.
There is. It just came back again today.
That's because I stumbled upon the thing that was finally going to put us on top. The thing that was finally going to make the RIOT on the map. It was our viral hit sensation.
Is that what it's going to be?
And now Nikki's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Maybe I don't feel like it, but, still doesn't mean I won't do it.
You know what, Nikki? Instead of going to the gym today, just come on over and mow my lawn.
I'm not dressed for it. Wearing flip-flops.
That's okay, Nikki. I got a pair of lawn mowing shoes you can wear.
I wear flip-flops, and then I can't possibly wear my gym shoes out like that. That'll just ruin them.
Well, I know. That's why I have special shoes.
But your feet size are not the same as mine. Mine are smaller.
We'll put...
just in case you go to say something. My feet are smaller and not nearly as wide.
Do you guys have a larger pair of shoes?
No.
Obadiah's shoes don't fit, Nikki. She needs something a little bigger.
Not for my petite feet.
All right, well, hey, you guys enjoy the show, and Nikki and I will be out mowing the lawn.
Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to, I think Obi's going to do an Obadiah Plays later.
I am going to do that today, unless the internet's not working or something.
So if you want to make sure to follow Obadiah Plays, if you join us at RadioU RIOT on Facebook, both our RadioU page as well, you'll be able to watch him play his game later today or whenever he's done with it. It'll stay there. And you can just also check out the Obadiah Plays playlist on RadioU RIOT on our YouTube channel.
All right. Well, everybody, have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the RIOT podcast.
I thought we had s'mores Oreos before.
And maybe we did. Or they just had come out because we taste tested s'mores Oreos last week during a RIOT food fight,
so
which you can check out through riot.radiou.com. But yeah, we mentioned we felt like we had them before, but they were a limited edition flavor, but they had been out in 2016.
Mm-hmm. And, since we were out in 2016, my guess is we probably ate them.
We probably had them then. They were just coming back out again for a limited time.
So they just announced their next run of limited time flavors.
How do we still have flavors? How are there still options?
We got mint chocolate chip, Nikki.
It's Baskin Robbins.
So what? That's just...
That's just the name of it.
That's just slapping another brand on it.
I like mint chocolate chip, though. That sounds really good.
How about Marshmallow Moon?
So that is an anniversary one that they're releasing?
It's the celebration of the Apollo moon landing's 50th anniversary.
So is it a different flavor, or is it just the same, but it's got a design on the cookie part?
It will be out in mid-June, and it does have a different design on the cookie, but no, the middle is marshmallow, which is not...
It's purple marshmallow.
Oh, sorry.
Let's say
purple
what it
marshmallow.
is. And the packaging on the Marshmallow Moon Oreos glows in the dark.
Wow.
Did they think of everything?
Who wouldn't want to eat Marshmallow Moon Oreos in the dark?
Well, the cookie does not glow in the dark. It's just the packaging that it comes in.
Okay, they got a new Oreo for fat people, Oreo Thins.
It's a latte one?
That has a coffee flavor. And then, hello.
You like maple cream?
In late August, Oreo will have the maple cream flavor. I don't know if I like it, but I want to find out.
It would be good to try. It's a golden cookie with the maple flavor cream. And again, how are we still having options for Oreos for limited flavors? I feel like we've done all of them many times over.
I will tell you this, that I'm not trying to skip through the year, but I just had my first bit of fall excitement. It just happened.
Right there, because
looking
of
at
the
that
maple
cream,
cookie?
and it showed like the leaves falling and stuff, and I was like,
You
favorite
have
time of
summer
year.
to get through first.
to enjoy.
Uh-huh.
I have summer to enjoy first.
So that seems like that's the current Oreo lineup for the year.
Maple cream Oreo. We got to wait all the way till August. But man, I think we just go pick up another bag of those s'mores Oreos.
Those were
you know?
good. Again, you can watch our Riot Food Fight with the s'mores Oreos. That was last week, and it's up at RadioU Riot on Facebook or our RadioU Riot YouTube channel.
You know, people that really love the Riot, just go ahead and order cases and send them to us. Whole cases.
The mini Oreo.
Big cases.
I think the mint chocolate chip one looks pretty good too.
If Nikki sounds a little bored this morning, it's because Obadiah is still talking.
Too much talking, too much talking.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Talking.
You know, on the one hand, I don't feel sorry for anybody in Hollywood that makes the big bucks and takes on the big roles. On the other hand, I think I kind of do, because let's talk about Daniel Craig.
Well, he's been through a lot
Mr. James Bond.
with his James Bond role.
So, okay, this guy, what is he in? Like, he was in his late 30s, early 40s. He becomes James Bond. Everyone loves him. And over the course of his tenure as James Bond, people like him a little less, a little less.
That's what happens, and then that's why they always find a new James Bond.
Then they're like, he's too old. He's too this. Didn't he, like, broke his ribs really badly or something on the last movie? And he was like, I'm never doing it again. And then they're like, wow, one more time. And he's like, okay, fine.
It took a lot to get him to come back to the role, they said, because he was so injured filming the last one. And then the new one was supposed to come out this fall.
And they're stopping because he injured himself again. So the movie has to get... I
think the movie also had just a lot of pauses because of writing and director changes and stuff. So it's just been a mess.
They brought in Danny Boyle, who is he wrote it and he was going to direct it. And the rumor flying there is that he was going to kill off James Bond. So, like, that character would die, which I actually think it would be great. Like, do that and then start James Bond again. People can understand that it's a reboot, whatever, but they're not having it. And so they have rewritten it. They've got a new director. It's Cary Fukunaga, I believe. Whoever, the guy that did it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is directing it. And so here we have Daniel Craig has hurt his ankle, which has caused filming to stop.
Again.
And they have to wait for him to recover.
So at that point, do they think it'll still come out? Was it November it was supposed to come out? Or
I don't know. They haven't said if it's going to, like, push the filming of it. But just looking at it, that's kind of rough. I mean, he's gone from, like, his late 30s now to his early 50s. He's doing these stunts. I mean, I'll just tell you right now, if you gave me $20 million to hurt my ankle, I'm in.
You're fine.
You're like, listen, we're going to fly you to Jamaica. We want you to hang out with all these beautiful women. You're going to hurt your ankle. When it's over, you'll have more money than you could ever really want or need.
It seemed like, though, with his last injury, like, you would have thought it would have been okay. You just heal, you get over. But they said he had a lot of problems from it.
Well, I
think it was more than what you think it would have been.
I think he hurt his ribs. And I will tell you, I have not, but I have had a couple of friends that have had cracked ribs. And
we take the ankle any day.
Yeah. Well, because
ribs at all.
It's very hard to rest. It's very hard to breathe. Like, it's a matter of being in constant pain. So I've always heard bad stuff, but yep. Looks like
so. They're still doing it, right?
Yeah, no. They're still going to make it. They're just having to take a break. What was it? The last Mission Impossible movie, they had to take like 6 months off for Tom Cruise to heal from that one stunt that he did. So, which when you say it like that, doesn't it sound like he was some kid fooling around? Well, Tom Cruise pulled another stunt.
No, I mean he did his own stunt and he hurt his leg.
Yeah. So it looks like we might get might have to wait a little bit. I'm up for another James Bond movie, sure.
I guess I am.
What?
I guess. I don't think so.
You're going to go see another John Wick movie?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that seems better.
Let me tell you what. For the last 3 years or however long since John Wick 2, you've been like, it's so dumb. I'm not going to see it again. I'm not interested. And then a week ago, you're like, I guess I'll go. And now we've translated to, I want the pretzels.
I want to go see that more than James Bond.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I don't think I brushed my teeth.
Did you forget to do that this morning?
It is the riot. I think so. That guy brushing his teeth reminded me. I don't think I did. All right, we'll have to remember to make up for that later. Who's into, like, who likes a good Porsche? I like a good Porsche.
Yeah, it's a good car.
It is. I actually really like, this is weird, but I like the Porsche. Is it the Cayenne, I think it's called?
Like the SUV-looking one?
Yep, I do. That to me is just like, yeah.
That's a sweet spot.
I like it. Of course, I drive a CRV. It's a crossover vehicle, which is not an SUV and it's not a car. And so that's what the Porsche Cayenne is. And I really, really do like that car. Plus anything else they have.
Sure.
Just whatever. I don't...
He doesn't have one? And no plans for any right now.
I don't have one, and if I decided I wanted one, it would require multiple years of salary. So I'll just get a few more jobs. And
hey, some people overextend with their cars sometimes, so
sometimes
that wouldn't be the first time.
So the oldest Porsche in the world is currently owned by Dr. Thomas Gruber. Mm-hmm. Is he related to Hans Gruber? He's from Vienna, Austria, and he is going to be selling
the oldest Porsche?
Yes, it was built specifically for a race that didn't happen in 1939 between Italy and Germany. Take a guess why Italy and Germany didn't have a little race in 1939. The master race, I guess.
Oh, no.
See, I mean, I couldn't. You could not. Well, basically, Germany invaded Poland.
Yes.
And they're like, maybe we won't have the race.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it didn't work out to have it after.
Yes.
They could have had it
we
later.
got it. No, we got it. We got it. They didn't have the thing. It's fine.
Okay.
Back to the Porsche.
Well, it's interesting because this was made in 1939, which is about 10 years before Porsche actually became a company. And so it was hand designed and handmade for this race. And it looks like, if you look at old pictures of stuff, like the car of the future.
It looks like how they would have tried to design it that way.
Absolutely. It was designed by Ferry Porsche, which is the founder's son. He came up with the idea for the Type 64 in 1939. And it does. It looks like something.
It's old and weird.
It is
very old.
It is a weird looking car.
How much do they think this thing will get?
Only about $20 million.
Oh, geez, really? Well, yeah, there's some car collectors.
As a car collector, this is a big deal.
Weird.
Because it is a one of a kind. When you have this one, you have the only one.
Sure.
And I imagine you're probably not driving it. Probably just sits there.
Well, I wouldn't know how you could get insurance for something like that, but I'm sure he has it. But you're not taking that out. You're not risking that.
I mean, he doesn't seem to have a place to put, what do you call it, a license plate. Though, I guess if you're rich enough to have those kinds of cars, you probably, what do you have, like a track in your backyard? A place where, like, if you want to drive it around.
It's on your property.
You can,
probably
but
so.
You don't have to take it out somewhere. See, economies of scale, I don't know what it's like to have $20 million, so I don't know what kind of stuff you buy
you don't
when
know
you
what
have
you do.
$20 million.
So I didn't know if you said this, but the current record for the world's most expensive Porsche is a 1970 917 that sold for $14 million.
That's all?
In 2017.
Only $14 million?
Is it 14 million like real dollars, or is it a different currency, or what is it?
It's euros or something, right?
I just don't understand.
Australian money.
That's a lot of money.
So
this might get more.
Think Obadiah owns too many video games?
Get us out of here! Roger that!
Well, maybe you'll think differently when... Okay, you're right. There's no conceivable scenario where anyone needs that many. The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, the $20 million Porsche. I know you keep saying Porsche. I know that's right. I can't say it.
It just depends. You can call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want.
Car.
The car,
$20 million car.
$20 million for a car, yes.
All right. If I am spending $20 million on a car, how much am I spending on a cup of coffee? What do you think?
I feel like you're in a different price bracket then. You're not going to like McDonald's for the coffee.
That's what I'm thinking. We've got Klatch Coffee Roasters. They're going to offer, in addition to the most expensive car, we can now have the most expensive cup of coffee. $75
for a single cup.
For a single cup of this coffee.
So apparently they say they bought 10 pounds of the of a specialty coffee, Elda Geisha, maybe?
Elida Geisha. They bought it at the annual Best of Panama Green Coffee Auction.
Who hasn't been there?
We go.
We go all the time.
I vacation there every year.
So it's $803 per pound, and that is the highest per pound price ever paid at that coffee auction. And so they have 80 cups worth $75 each, and it's only their L.A. and San Francisco locations that you can get it.
That coffee is grown at the Lamastus family estates in Panama. Only 100 pounds of it were produced. So they bought, did they say 10 pounds or was it 20? I can't remember. And then, there are a few other places around the world
they bought 10 pounds, yeah.
So someone who drank it talked to KABC in Los Angeles and said it's very smooth, has a good taste, and packs a punch.
The thing is, when you're starting to pay that much money for coffee, you can't really decide what it tastes like, I feel like, because in your mind, you're wanting it to be amazing. You want it to be worth the price that you just paid. So I think your mind's going to play some tricks on you.
Okay.
And say it's the smoothest, best cup of coffee.
Well, let me describe it. Well, I'm not describing it. Let me read the descriptions of it. The Geisha is a rare variety of Arabica coffee that came to Panama. Arabica. That came to Panama from a research lab in Costa Rica, but has origins in Ethiopia. It's known for its floral, tea-like, and stone fruit flavors, with jasmine, bergamot, sugarcane, and stone fruit being common flavor notes. Stone fruit is peach or apricot.
Okay.
And I just want you to know that I wouldn't be able to isolate any of those flavors.
You can't get any of the notes out of it?
Those are rich people's flavors.
And you're just not used to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm like, I got my maple coffee.
So basically all that fancy talk for floral and fruit flavors for the coffee.
So their next auction of this coffee happens May 22nd through May 25th. And so they are speculating that there may be an even more expensive cup of coffee in our future.
Well, if you're a coffee person and you're in L.A. or San Francisco, their cups won't last long, but they're there.
I feel like I would fit in with this crowd, though, because over the weekend I bought a $14 pound of coffee.
Did you?
I did. I
Big
went ahead and
spender.
had them grind it for me. I'm drinking some of it this morning. It's quite good, but man, pricey, right? It's
not like that one.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Yesterday, all of us together wondered, where exactly did the hot dog toaster come from?
Well, yeah, we talked about it's in a break room. It's in our break room, and it's off to the side, back in the corner by the sink, and no one knows where it came from.
I have solved the mystery.
Is it Hudson?
It's Hudson.
That's what I thought. Out of everybody, I thought it must be Hudson.
Hudson is the hot dog eater among us, and which is not to say that I don't ever eat a hot dog, but I didn't.
He consistently eats hot dogs.
Exactly that. I love hot dogs. I think they're great. I like eating them. I like a good gas station dog. I especially like to get myself a Hillshire Farms cheddar wurst that some gas stations in the area will have. That's a good one. That being said, I know limits. But when Hudson came to Radio U, I found someone that shared my love of hot dogs but had no regulator. Nothing inside him.
No filter, no nothing.
Nothing inside him that said, that's enough hot dogs for this week.
It's like he could eat hot dogs every day.
I think he does more than we know.
More than once a day? More than once a meal?
Yeah.
So it's one of those old style toaster ovens that have the slots for the hot dog buns, and then you can also put hot dogs in it. Mm-hmm. The ones that at first you're always like, that's a fire hazard. Must be.
It's
it's there.
The nostalgia retro pop-up hot dog toaster.
So is he using it at lunch or something?
I guess so.
But I don't see any hot dogs in the fridge.
Well, maybe he's bringing them from home.
Where's the hot dogs?
Or maybe, did you check the fridge this morning?
No, I did not. It was just when we talked about it the other day.
Maybe he just ran out over the weekend and he brought them in yesterday afternoon. So maybe he's restocked the hot dogs and that's how
they're in there.
Yeah.
Let's see, Andrew texted, said, Obi, are you putting sauerkraut on the cheddar wurst?
No. Of course
negative?
not. Of course not.
Well, it seems like Andrew might like that.
Well, that's a mistake. Sauerkraut on anything is bad.
Yeah.
That's very bad. Like, you don't
I always think I'm going to like it more, but I don't really care for it too much. I don't seek it out.
I don't understand how something can smell like that, and somebody's like, oh, that smells, I want some of that. It smells awful.
Well, it depends on your taste.
No, it doesn't, actually. That everyone in the world that is sane and knows what they know, like, oh, I don't want that.
Well, is Hudson going to leave that here? Like, is that why? Or?
Well, we didn't discuss the future of the hot dog toaster, though I do believe that I saw it again this morning.
Yeah, it's still there. It's in the same spot.
Okay, so what are you in there, taking inventory?
No, but it's right next to the sink, and I fill up my tea kettle each morning to make some tea, and I notice it. It's right there.
You're like, oh, look, there it is again.
No, it's just not moved.
Tempting me. Calling out to me.
Well, that's why I looked for the hot dogs. I wanted to try it.
Nikki.
Yes, hot dog machine.
Become a hot dog person. It's good.
I wonder if they're in there. We could be making hot dogs.
We should.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
But they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on Radio U.
Oh, man. There's so much stupid stuff in the news. You find yourself wondering, what should we go with?
What should we pass to you guys?
What should we talk about?
I know sometimes you're like, oh, you guys never filter any of it. You must just talk. Nope, we do. We save some of the stuff that you don't need to hear about.
Man, you don't even know. So, something that has showed up in the show a lot over the last week has been us talking about Mortal Kombat. Because...
Well, 11 came out a while ago.
No, like a week and a half ago. It hasn't been that long.
Ago.
Okay, all right.
Okay, like a while ago. But mostly we're doing an upcoming Riot game night where we'll be hosting a special show that you can watch on one of the nights in June. So we're trying to pick out a video game to play during this game night. And again, you guys get to watch us on our Radio U Riot Facebook page. Just very hard to find a game that we all feel like we can watch.
That's fun to watch.
Fun to watch.
Fun to play.
And
not offensive.
Yes. Now, Mortal Kombat 11 has, it's called fatalities, and they're very over the top.
There's something.
And I wanted to play the game, but it doesn't fit the first two. Well, it does. It's fun to play, but it's not probably right for you guys to watch.
We're afraid too many people will be offended. And as you may or may not know, Nikki and I are able to laugh at things that you're not supposed to laugh at. And so we are over there having a good time, and everybody else gets all judgy.
We won't be able to play it.
And what we don't need is video evidence of you guys to give us something. Somebody somewhere, maybe not you, but somebody somewhere is going to get judgy about it.
So that's why we've been talking about Mortal Kombat for the last couple of days.
Well, Nikki, they are getting ready to shoot the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Now, when was the last one? Was there ever, I know I've seen on Netflix some really old ones.
1997 or something like that.
Wasn't there two of them?
Kombat, and because there was the one that is the Mortal Kombat.
That one.
The song one that everyone knows, right? And then there was 1997 Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
So is this going to be another movie? Is this a Netflix movie? Feels like that.
It's going to be, I think it's going to get a theatrical
movie theater
release.
Movie?
Yeah. So, and then they've done like web series and stuff like that, but I haven't watched any of that. Have you?
No. Like based on the game or people in it? Yeah,
there's a few different weird or Mortal Kombat Legacy, Mortal Kombat. I think Legacy might have been the TV series. There's a lot of Mortal Kombat stuff.
I just need to do some research. Once I scratch the surface, then you'll realize there's a lot underneath there.
You might be better off without.
I'll just stick with liking the game and the stuff from afar.
Okay. So, but they're making that movie. And here's what I love is you're the first person I thought of.
Really? Oh, yay. I'm so happy.
They're making a Mortal Kombat movie.
Tell Nikki.
I've got to remember to tell Nikki about that.
When is there any release date or who's going to be in Mortal Kombat, or this is the very basic news?
No, it's basic-ish. I can give you some details. It's going to be produced by James Wan. He's the guy that directed Aquaman. Mm-hmm. It's going to be directed by... let's see, where did this guy's name go? Simon McQuoid. This is his first movie, but he is an award-winning commercial filmmaker. And to be clear, a lot of the filmmakers you love now
started in commercials.
That's where they start. So
that's exactly where they came from.
That is not necessarily a bad thing. I've got a bunch of executive producers, but I have no names
stars
as far as a cast yet. So,
well, you could have the Nikki, and she flings her headphones at opponents for fatalities,
and then it wraps around their
takes
head,
their head right off,
and then their head comes off, and then the headphones go on their head, and it squashes their head, and their eyeballs go flying across the room, or something like that.
Just with us starting to talk about it in the very beginning stages, that's an option for a character in case they need a new one.
Just something to think about. DJ Nikki. She's amazing, dude.
Like, I like always playing the Nikki character.
And she can summon a bear.
Yes. Thank you. That's the perfect character.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, you're going to go to that Wonders of the Galaxy auction thing?
And what is that?
They're auctioning off all kinds of, old, movie stuff. Like vintage movie posters. And here is a bust from Planet of the Apes. It's a fiberglass bust from the 1968 original.
I was not planning on it, and I'm trying to watch my money. So I don't think it'd be okay if I go. I'd just be too tempted.
Trying to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't help myself if I was around all that stuff.
You know, Nikki, you're an example to all of us.
You got to be responsible. It might not be fair. I might want to go and buy all the Planet of the Apes stuff that I could possibly want.
It's interesting that you say that because they say they have tons of Planet of the Apes stuff available.
I'm going to have to just pass because you got to sometimes be a grown-up and just watch your money.
I went back a couple of summers ago and watched the Planet of the Apes movies because I'm talking like the ones from the 60s. I've heard them referenced a million times, but I've never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
was it Charlton Heston?
Charlton Heston. And I watched the first two, which I feel like was enough. If you want to see something that is just insane, like off the rails, wacko, nuts, that second Planet of the Apes movie, I think it's called Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Why is it like that?
I don't want to.
You're not spoiling it.
Well,
I'm not going to watch it.
You're not?
No, I'm not going to watch it.
It gets so weird.
It does.
They finally go underground, and they find this group of, I think, humans that are all weirdly mutated that are praying to this nuclear missile that's buried underground. But the nuclear missile is what's causing them all to mutate and be all gross. And then, eventually, I can't remember exactly how, but they have a church service to the nuclear missile. And I'm just like, it's funny because when you think about it being in the 60s where everyone was terrified of nuclear weapons and all this stuff.
It makes more sense.
You look at it and you're like, yeah. There's some we're scared of the nuke stuff going on right here. And I'm sure it's a metaphor, but I'm not getting it. I'm sure it is.
And
then eventually they blow up the whole Earth. They do. They blow up the whole Earth. And that's the kind of thing that when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, you went there, you know?
They said something. That was a statement.
You went all the way for it.
Now you could go at this auction and buy all the movie memorabilia from that era.
Yeah, so they've also got stuff that dates all the way back to 1931, like the Invisible Man, a Dracula poster, and they're not prints. They're actual vintage, original kind of stuff. And you can buy Darth Vader's suit from The Empire Strikes Back.
Now that I saw will bring in quite a lot.
They're saying almost could bring in as much as $2 million. They say that that's actually in excellent shape. It's 17 different pieces, and they say the fact that it is still in such good shape basically is a testament to how much effort they put into making that costume,
that
quote
it could
unquote,
last.
Real.
So when is
it has
this
lasted that long?
This auction thing?
I don't know when the actual day of auction. Let's see, May. Oh, it's today. It's going to be happening in L.A. later today.
Oh, I can't make it. That is a shame.
Nikki, there are people whose whole job are to be proxy bidders.
That's true.
So what you can do is I can get you on the phone with somebody.
And I could still buy the items that I desire.
Just be like, listen, Nikki needs some Planet of the Apes stuff. Ugh. She's got a room in her house. She's trying to figure out what to do with it. And this is going to be it. It's going to be the Apes room.
It's weird because a lot of times, you go and you're like, listen, I am not going to buy anything. To go to that auction, I actually probably wouldn't be tempted by one item.
Yeah. I mean, at $2 million for this Darth Vader thing, it might be cheaper to get your own, suitcase nuke and then have weird nuke church services. They're like, look, we're recreating the Apes thing right here.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. I got some weird neighbors, though.
The Riot used to be 3 people.
Please tell me we're not discussing video games again.
The other guy didn't make it. It's the Riot.
No doubt you found yourself wishing that more of your friends and family enjoyed pineapple on pizza because you're disgusting.
That was from a few years ago. Remember, there was that big, what's the word, hubbub about if you like pizza and if you put pineapple on it.
You're sick.
You're sick, even though I think it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's still pizza. We'd still eat it.
Well, I mean, are we how hungry are we?
We're pretty hungry.
I'm probably taking
hungry.
the chunks of pineapple off.
We can't, even though it still leaves a little bit of the sweetness on there, but it's fine.
I don't like pineapple.
Now, this is something that we did not grow up with, so I think that's why this sounds a little bit odd to us.
It's even weirder.
And it seems like it's a New Zealand thing, but Domino's, Domino's Australia confirmed, but this is only available in New Zealand, that they're doing spaghetti pizza.
Well, it's Hawaiian spaghetti pizza.
Which means what's on the pizza with the spaghetti?
They've got this Waddy's spaghetti. So think like Chef Boyardee or whatever. And then it's all of that plus pineapple.
So again, that was just something that in New Zealand, they grew up having spaghetti out of a can with pineapple on it. So they're putting it on pizza.
Those poor people.
It's Hawaiian spaghetti pizza.
Those poor people. They want to, and oh my gosh.
It also has ham on it. So basically, it's the tinned canned spaghetti from the Waddy's company.
Yeah.
Chunks of pineapple, ham, and mozzarella cheese.
Nope.
So it's like our Hawaiian pizza, but you add canned
grosser
spaghetti onto it.
Yeah. No.
Listen, no.
What are you doing?
That's
what are we doing?
They like it.
You know what? Just make it at home. Get a loaf of bread, get the canned spaghetti and some pineapple, toast the stuff, and just make yourself a sandwich of spaghetti and pineapple.
Pretty much everybody's saying they could just make it on their own.
Oh, gosh. How the mighty have fallen, Nikki.
But that was a very common thing that, like, your mom would make. If you didn't have anything else, you'd have, like, for us, the Chef Boyardee, same thing. But they would just have pineapple with it.
Hey, man, as far as I was concerned, my mom was finally getting it right when she cracked open a can of Chef Boyardee.
But she didn't put pineapple on it.
That's right. So
Seth says, just wanted to say spaghetti Hawaiian pizza is wrong. Who wants to live that miserable life?
Yeah.
But again, it's still pizza, guys. It can't be that bad.
You know what, Nikki? I'm still having a hard time with that. I'm telling you that the best things in life can be ruined.
No, but you would still eat. If someone put that pizza in front of you, you would still eat it, wouldn't you?
How hungry am I?
You were always hungry.
I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry right now. I'm not hungry right now.
Because there's no pizza in front of you.
Now, if there were donuts here, yeah, I'd eat that. But like if there was a pizza here and I open it up to find out that the pizza was covered in spaghetti and pineapple, I'm telling you, there is a greater than 50% chance that pizza is not getting eaten.
You could squish and move everything else off to the side and
just
eat the crust. Just eat the crust with it then.
Well, maybe.
So that is something that is testing, and it'll be at Domino's, New Zealand.
No, I'm out on that.
What's worse than finding grounds in your coffee? Finding grounds in your coffee while listening to the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Okay, so if you live in Pierce or King counties in the state of Washington, and I realize this isn't very many of you, but you need to be on the lookout for measles. This is insane.
Oh, the outbreak stuff?
Did you see this? There's one guy that has measles. But the amazing thing about measles, I've been learning, is that measles is airborne and it stays in the air for up to 2 hours after you leave an area. So if I had come in here with measles, and I don't know if I have to sneeze or something, or if it just like is coming off of me, I have no idea. I didn't look into that. But it's highly contagious. Mm-hmm. And I could walk in this room, and this room is contaminated.
For 2 hours?
For 2 hours after I've left it.
So you could walk in after Obi and never know, but you're getting it.
And you can spread it before you begin to show symptoms of it.
Yeah.
It feels like some sort of a movie.
But the problem is there's pockets of the United States where people...
The United States has pockets?
Pockets of it. Different areas where people have not been following the vaccinations.
Yeah.
Which has been a very hot topic.
Because, Nikki, they're putting that's whatever in them that kills you.
But
that's how the aliens are tracking you.
There's some areas, especially in those, where apparently more people thought not to than other places.
Mm-hmm. So what we have here is, this is amazing. When the guy finally showed up at wherever, and they're like, you have measles, and we need you to...
How old was he?
He was in his 40s. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we need you to tell us everywhere you've been and when for the last 48 hours.
Because all those people could be infected.
They have actually, it's longer than that. It goes all the way from May 6th through the 10th. They have a huge list of all the places that he went, like Ording High School, SeaTac International Airport, of
course he did. When he's got that, of course you go to the airport. Jeez.
The Ording Junior Dance Team Banquet, Skookum Archery, the 76 gas station, and it just goes on and on. And you're like, whoa.
So he could have infected a lot of people.
So far, no one else has come forward.
Sure.
And so they say, though, that like you could have encountered it. But, that's... If your vaccine's working as it should, well, it's not the vaccine, Obadiah, it's the antibodies.
Sure.
If the antibodies were working, then you are probably okay.
But they were saying he never got that.
I guess not. So.
And now he's got that. So.
He's got it.
All right. Listen, whether you got it or not or whatever, you just don't want anything else, okay? Can we all just agree? Like, you don't want to be sick. You especially don't want the measles. Like, you don't want any of that stuff.
Hey, listen, the more we talk about it, the more I'm thinking to myself, you know what we should do? Just stay home.
Yeah, be safer that way.
We just stay home. What do you think about that?
I just, you have a lot of stuff going on. We all do, and that's the last thing that you want.
I love this. Aaron says, we all know diseases are made up by the government for pharmaceutical revenue. That's right, Aaron.
All right, you got it.
You should have your own YouTube channel.
If you were offended or disgusted by anything Obadiah said this morning...
If you weren't so dumb, I might be offended.
You must be new. You'll get used to it. The Riot on Radio U.
Okay, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Google now knows what the temperature is in your house?
Well, I think it knows everything. I thought it even knows the body temperature.
It knows, Nikki. Now, do you wonder how it knows?
Because it works with my thermostat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Google bought Nest.
Did they?
They did.
I'm not surprised.
So now Google owns Nest, and Google has all that Nest data. They know how hot you like it and how cold you want it.
I don't know what they're going to do with that, but everything is for sale, all of our information, and it must go to someplace.
That's actually my favorite question, because that's the thing I started wondering about. Okay, we've just completely flushed our privacy down the toilet. We hand over our privacy. They're like, hey, we'll give you $1 off. And you're like, here, take all my data.
Not even that, but just in the name of convenience of hey, so I can say, hey, Google, turn the temperature down, something like that. So everything. You tie it in.
So aside from just trying to sell you crap, what else is there?
For why do they do that?
Yeah, well, what else are they going to do with all that data? And they're like, the government can control you. What? I mean, it would make me mad, but the government, controls the thermostat in my house?
No,
okay.
They must sell it for something. It must go somewhere. It must still have a value to it.
They say big data is where, the future and the money and all that stuff
because then they know how to advertise to you. They just want to have that details. And your house temperature is included in that.
I guess it is, so they'll know whether or not you need a comforter.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty much. They're like, oh, this guy always likes it really cold, and I don't know. Maybe that helps.
But isn't there a point at which that at some point you have bought all the shorts? You bought do you know what I mean? At some point you're just like, what?
A company is still willing to pay to have their stuff advertised to you.
For that opportunity to just get in there.
Pretty much.
And something.
Well, I have a Nest, so that's great. And I have a Google Home, so that's great.
They're talking.
I set it up for them to talk to each other.
I know.
So that's fine.
Right now, they're having a conversation about you and what you're doing and where you live and what you do where you live and how hot it is and what your water consumption is
Pretty
and the
much.
last video you watched on YouTube.
Yep, all that.
They know everything about you.
Well, congratulations, Nest, for having Google by you.
Man, if you guys got a good look at my internet presence, they would be like, okay, he's a nerd. He won't spend money on anything worthwhile. He's our perfect customer.
But did you hear that, Nest? He wants to turn the temperature down.
Hey, listen, you know where I stand on that,
I
Nikki.
know you like your house cold.
There are two things that society has given us that shows you that I think life on Earth is worthwhile. Air conditioning, hot water on demand. Hot water on demand. Like, do I have to boil it? No.
Just comes out that way.
Turn it on. Hot water on demand.
Two things he loves.
Amazing.
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Listen, it's time for us all to just acknowledge a little basic truth here, okay? Can we please? Lawns and lawn mowing are dumb.
Well, yeah, but you have to do it. It's dumb, but you still do it.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Nikki, I'm not sure that you're qualified to...
I never mowed a yard before.
Talk
I'm
about
not the
this.
only one who's never mowed before. I can't be the only one.
You're a kept woman.
I've just never mowed.
You've never mowed the lawn.
I lived in an apartment and they mowed, and then I lived in a house where they had an association that mowed, so I've never mowed before.
And then she got her one of those, what do you call them? Men.
And he mowed, so there you go. Not
You're
a big
all-
surprise. I've never mowed.
You're all done mowing. Well, you know what, Nikki? I'm telling you, that's what we should do. Riot skips work. I should have you to my house and you mowing
That
the
is
lawn.
not fair. That is not fair. I don't want to have to mow your whole yard.
We just take turns. Each one of us will do a strip.
No one wants
and you
to
know what?
see that.
And I'll bet you everybody would watch it.
Why?
Because they want to see you mow the lawn for the first time.
They just want to see me have to mow.
Yeah, and I could teach you, how to start it.
But I don't need to mow, so I don't need to learn. Don't think I need to.
But Nikki, what are you going to do if Eric hurts his back or cuts his foot
There's
off
mowing companies.
Or
There's
so you just
lots of people. I see signs everywhere.
But you know what? You fall on tough times and you're unable to do it. Hire a company and
then it grows and then it's healthier.
and you know what? And that's
where
where
we
we're
find
at right
out
now.
we can't do that.
Here's where we get to our real. Look, David just texted in, Nikki. My grandma's 65 and I taught her how to mow on Saturday.
Very nice, David and David grandma.
You know what? Nikki's 64, still doesn't know how to mow. So I guess for your birthday next year,
Yeah, right.
David's going to come and he's going to teach you how to mow a lawn, Nikki. We got a guy named Jim in Florida. This is so great. You remember that association that you were talking about?
Yeah, there's normally rules in your neighborhood of like how high the grass can go.
Mm-hmm. So his grass was too high, and he got a letter from the association. Inside his association dues or whatever the heck you signed to live there, there is a $500 per day fine
Whoa! If
your lawn is too high.
Wow, that's expensive.
He was summering or wintering or something in South Carolina. So he wasn't home for a month. As a result, he got charged $500 a day.
What is that?
And so he ended up, he was gone for 2 months. So they expect him, and they have put a lien on his house for $30,000.
Why wouldn't he be getting, I guess I assume your bills come to your email. But he must have been getting, especially if you winter or summer somewhere else.
Something.
Yeah, you normally have it set up to where you're getting your mail or your bills.
Like, why didn't he have somebody mowing or something like that? So
I feel like he's missed something, a very important detail.
Oh my gosh, this is it. This is crazy. Okay, he had to fly away because, let's see, his mom had died.
Aww.
And so he had to go back to South Carolina to basically oversee his mom's stuff. He had a guy mowing his lawn for him. He died.
No!
He didn't know the guy that was
died?
supposed to mow his lawn died.
Whoa, that's weird.
That is weird.
Oh, he could fight that totally in court then. There's no reason why they should be charging him that money.
I am sure.
Take the lien off the house. Come on.
He said he tried to take care of the lawnmower and it ended up breaking because it was so high and he didn't have enough money to buy a new mower. And so blah, 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 eventually blah, blah, blah problem. And
there you go.
And yeah.
That is something. Well, before it got that high, I would have to do something about it.
You know what I would do? Now, okay, I'm serious when I say this. If my neighbor's lawn was that big and they weren't there and whatever,
wouldn't you just?
I'd probably just go over and cut it.
Just go and mow it.
I probably would.
Well, Taylor texted, I've never mowed either. So thank you, Taylor.
Well, Taylor, what are you doing later today?
We're all learning. We're all going to have a class with Obadiah at his house to learn how to mow.
We're going to talk about mowing. And
what's the one, the trimmer? Do you get to edge?
You know what? Do you want to?
Well, I'm going to learn everything, aren't I?
Sure.
Was that a series? Should I do a series where
I think
learn
we
to
knock
mow,
it all,
you learn to
all out
edge,
in one day,
and you learn to do the blower?
You know, the other thing too is that a lot of people would go ahead and edit that down, so it's 3 minutes of hard hitting action. I say we just do one really long. And so what I'll do
2
is
or 3 hours
long. It is. And I love the idea of what you see is like in the foreground, there's just a Diet Coke and it's just sweating. And then in the background, you're just seeing Nikki walk back and forth with the mower.
Grumbling.
Let me tell you what, I'd watch that.
I bet you would.
I'd watch all of it.
Just to see what happens.
I might even pay to watch that.
The Riot. Turn it down.
And rip the knob off.
Radio U.
It is The Riot. If you guys want to hear the real story behind that song, listen and I'm going to tell you. It's about a woman who never mowed her lawn, and she started wondering about what it would be like to mow it.
I was the girl in a bubble.
And she feels like a girl in a bubble, but she's not.
I'm just still amazed you're amazed that I've never mowed.
I'm telling you, Nikki, there is a groundswell of support here.
For me to learn?
For you to learn to mow.
And maybe during our next fundraiser. Can't stop mowing until we raise a certain amount of money. I just go out there and mow.
You guys can't see how excited I just got.
Y'all need to learn.
You don't even know. I want to take you out to a friend's house. Like, I've got friends that have property.
Yeah, exactly.
And we just get you a push mower, and it's
I have to keep going until the money is raised. It's that important.
I love everywhere this is going. All of it.
Well, until then, you were teasing that I should go to your house, and you're going to show me how to mow.
I'm telling you, that writes itself. It does. That's going to be.
I don't need to. I'm the one who's getting the short end of the stick there. Everybody else gets to enjoy it, but I'm the one who has to mow then. I don't want to mow.
I'll tell you what, Nikki. We'll start small. I'll give you here's how you take the trash out tutorial. We can do that right here in the building.
I know how to do that. Doesn't mean I do it, but I know how to do it.
Because I just assumed the only reason you weren't taking the trash out is because you don't know how.
What? Girl. They said that.
Man, I'll tell you what right now.
Have to take the trash
out. Gender politics in this place, ridiculous.
Melinda just texted to say, "Stay strong, Nikki. I've never mowed and never plan on it." So.
Well, you know what? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
I wouldn't mind knowing in case there's like an emergency, but I don't see that ever happening, so I don't know if I have to.
All right, well, Aaron says he's texting. You can too, 877-2-RADIO-U. He says, I used to work at True Green, so I'll be your mowing assistant.
Oh, nice.
Taylor said she'd never mowed. Well, it's time. David says, I live in an apartment, and I kind of miss yard work a little. You know what, David? That's just stupid. That's what that is.
But he's just saying that. I mean, maybe he does.
Let me tell you, no. Here's what happens. You think you miss lawn work. It's like Thanksgiving and that one family member. You're like, oh, I miss crazy uncle whatever. And then 2 minutes in, you're like, oh, this is why I haven't seen him in so long.
This is why I hate doing this.
This is the reason why. Damien says, Obi and Nikki mowing tutorial, a YouTube sensation.
That's right.
Sam says his wife refuses to learn to mow. Is that what you want to do, Nikki? Live willfully in ignorance?
Why?
Willfully ignorant.
Aaron,
Nikki story.
Aaron, is that on Hallmark or Lifetime? Aaron, thanks for texting. So don't feel bad, Nikki. I mowed once when I was 16, and my dad never let me again because my lines weren't straight enough. So now I'm 28. I probably don't know how to mow.
Aaron, listen. So what? All right, you get back out there.
What? You get back on the saddle?
And you know what? You push mow a lawn just like you drive some oxen. You look straight ahead.
Can I try and learn
and you'll travel towards that point that you're looking at.
Can I learn on a driving one?
No. Absolutely not,
that was
Nikki.
A bit intense.
You know what? You're not ready for that.
Why?
Because you can't learn to walk until you can crawl.
No, but I can drive.
Nope.
I can already drive now. I'm sure I could do better at that.
We're going to start small. And I'm going to teach you to mow the lawn, and it's going to be awesome. Mike says, I miss mowing my yard. Back at that. Spent years not being able to do it because of allergies. What? Man, can I get in on that excuse? I can't.
You got that?
It's allergies.
All right,
Now,
well.
Gabe says, I wonder what Obi can't do. Let's exploit that. Gabe, the answer is nothing.
He can do it all.
I'm very good at everything. Haven't you guys been able to tell just by listening how good I am? Like,
you
at
guys
sports?
are funny. Andrew says, yeah, mowing's fun like the first 2 times, and then it sucks. That's it.
I'm down to the first no times.
Turn it up loud enough and your neighbors will call the cops. Because it's obviously a cry for help. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Probably never grilled before either, have you? Oh
What?
my gosh.
Don't look at me.
We have a whole summer series.
Why would I know how to grill? I can do it inside, but I just never tried outside. That propane tank scares me.
So,
And then sometimes Eric, I would hear, foof. And then he would come in and say, like, his arm hair was singed. It's dangerous.
are you afraid your arm hair is going to get burnt?
No, I don't have any arm hair.
You walked into that one.
know I did.
You
I know I
walked
did.
right into that one.
I don't have any at all.
See, look at that. We could do a whole series of stuff. Nikki learns to mow. Nikki learns to grill. We need a third one because you always have to have 3.
You do.
Nikki learns to climb a ladder. You ever
What?
climbed a... See?
What? No, I've climbed a ladder.
Step ladder.
I have a step ladder, a step stool.
Stool.
No, that doesn't seem
Stairs.
interesting enough.
The
It'd have to
stairs.
be something else. Like I have to change out. So I would change my car oil. You could teach me how to do that.
I could do that.
I've never done that before. What? That one shocks you?
No, that's the one that I feel like out of all the things I'm going to show you,
I won't be interested in.
that's the one that's going to go the most poorly. It just is. I already know it.
All right,
I can
well,
see it in advance.
If you have any ideas for Nikki Learns.
I can see. We'll be doing that and your mom's going to be texting. Now, Nicole, you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
Thank you.
You
Someone's
do not,
finally
you
saying
do not
that.
actually have to do that.
I do not need to
Okay?
learn.
We don't need that. So you don't have to do that, okay?
But you can feel free to text us if you
Your
have any
father and I
ideas.
will pay to get your oil changed. You don't have to do that. I don't want my baby doing that. No!
Don't change the oil. Don't. What if I hurt something? What if I hurt myself? This is probably better I don't learn any of these things. Ooh, Nikki cleans the gutters. Jen, I don't know about that one. Then I'm on the ladder. I'm doing both.
Let me tell you what. Cleaning the gutters, that's another great one.
Why? Do you have to get the stuff out of it, or do you just hose it out? Or
That's what cleaning is, yes.
I see a lot of the. No, I know that. I see all the ads for the companies. I could totally do that.
The reason there are companies that clean gutters is because that's how much fun it is.
I could totally get all that done.
Yep. So I love it. Nikki, sand the floor, paint the fence, side to side.
I might be willing to learn something. We will see.
She's not going to. We'll see. She just will
Maybe.
see us.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the Radio U app or at riot.radiou.com.
Become a hot dog person.